Hi, hello. Okay, I know that I took a 3-month long break, and then the third video that you're gonna post, Stephanie, after your long break is gonna be about this movie. Yeah, I got a handful of comments in my video yesterday being like some variation of, girl, you took a break when a Colleen Hoover book was being made into a movie. Like, we need your take. And then even my sweet friend Desiree made this video and it made me totally crack up. I am not okay. So I don't know if y'all asked, but you're gonna get my opinion anyway, okay? Now, if you're not new, you know my feelings about Colleen Hoover as an author, as a human being, and more specifically my thoughts on this here story. Now, when this was first announced that it was being made into a movie however many years ago, I think we all remember just like how it was marketed and the coloring book fiasco, the fake nails and nail polish line, all of that stuff. We all remember that, right? If you're like, Stephanie, why do you not like Colleen Hoover? I did make a video of more like very in-depth video about that. If you want to like scroll back at my page or search for it, have at. Long story short, I just find her characters very clunky. I find her dialogue very cringy. I think that her storylines are yikes. That a lot of her plot lines rely heavily on like bamboozling her readers with like surprise abuse which that's not funny. I'm not laughing at that, but it's just like, girl, like if you're gonna do that, then like let your readers know beforehand. Which is funny enough, she doesn't believe in trigger warnings. She thinks that that spoils it. And then there's the whole thing that happened with her son and him like asking underage girls for explicit photos, and then she tried to bury it and all that stuff. Anyway, then this gets announced, and I remember my very first thought when I saw the cast, I was like, what? Why? Because if you've read this book, I first would like to apologize for that, but the cast is all very young. Like, the story relies so heavily on the fact that like she's 22, like fresh out of college, and like Blake Lively is like a grown woman, you know what I mean? Like, you can't really rely so heavily on how Lily Blossom Bloom, yes, that is her name, her like naivete on age, because that was like, I feel like when I read it, that made a lot of sense, like her being so young and naive and like fresh out of college and blah blah blah. That makes no sense. And then it came out like Colleen Hoover was like, just kidding guys, a brain surgeon can't be 25. It's like, really? We've all seen Grey's Anatomy, we know that. Okay, so people in the comments and whatnot were like, I wish we had Stephanie's take on the whole like promotion of this thing and the movie and blah blah blah. And I will say that I was kept up to date a little bit because of the girlies. Now, if you know who the girlies are, I'm talking about these girlies right here, Jessie and Lily. They do the Do We Know Them podcast. If you don't watch their podcast, 10 out of 10 recommend. I'm like a die-hard watcher of them. Every single video that they post, I'm like, and, you know. So this is what kept me in the loop with certain online drama. Love them. Anyway, hi girlies. I will say I'm shocked but not surprised how she has handled the press of this so poorly. Seems to me, from what I've seen, she thinks this is a cutesy little rom-com about a girl who likes flowers. Tis not. Tis not. And like, I saw so many interviews where they were asking questions that were like leading her to talk about the DV in the book that is like very, very, very important to this story. This is a DV story. There's no way around that. This is a story about DV, okay? This is not a cutesy little rom-com. This is not a second chance romance. This is a story about domestic violence, okay? And like any question that I saw in little junkets and whatnot, where they were like asking questions regarding that, she was just like, oh, it's about something completely different. Or it's not only about that, it's about so much more. And it's like, baby, did you read it? I don't know. also what I found really kind of like alarming, like mad cringe, was in certain junkets and videos that I saw, clippets that I saw, where the interviewer was asking her, like, now that you have portrayed a woman who has experienced this, how would you feel like if people were to come up to you and relate their own stories? You know, because like if you choose to play a certain role, you're kind of becoming like a figure for somebody to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that any person who's an actor who's ever played a certain role needs to like hold that with some sort of authority, or they're going to be like the spokesperson for like all people who have experienced that thing that they played in a role. But it's like when it comes to something like this, that is something that so many people have experienced in their real life, I feel like you shouldn't take that lightly. Are you chopping down a tree? And her response to those types of questions were like very passive aggressive. That whole thing where she was like, I'm a Virgo, so what do you want? My phone number, my address, like my location, like that. Wow. Like, it's okay to be like, I don't know what this experience feels like, and I don't feel qualified to give anybody any sort of like advice or comfort, but here are associations and phone numbers that you can call, like resources that you can use to reach out and talk to somebody about it. I'm just not that person for, like, there's a gentle way that you can do that. Like, you don't have to be the expert on a role that you play, right? That's absurd. But like, to be so like passive aggressive and like weird in a response about that, like, yikes. The whole like grab your girls and wear your florals is a choice. Is a choice that no one should make, but it is a choice. If you've seen it, how is it? Is Ellen DeGeneres a star in this movie? Do they talk about Dory as much in the movie as they do in the book? I would like to know. I'm very curious. Okay. Anyway, love you so much. Bye. Also, if you love Colleen Hoover, I love that for you. I'm not judging you whatsoever. Okay, these are just my opinions. Okay? Okay. Love you so much. Bye.